everyone. Whoop, whoop. Welcome to Too Legit to QT, where you can
I'm just not gonna do it.
Where you can get it done with Tish and be on your come up with me, Quoia. Hey everyone, we are so excited because today we have the one, the only Stefon Bristol, who is the writer and director of See You Yesterday on Netflix. We are so excited. Welcome to the show, Stefon. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for having me. I'm humbled. Very, very lucky to be talking to such two gorgeous women.
You sound humbled. He got the humble voice on, right? Like
I'm trying to get my
Denzel and I
keep sweat on. My keep sweat.
Like,
W.
Yeah.
Keith Sweat.
You totally got the Keith Sweat thing going on right now with the voice. You know, let me lower my voice for the ladies out there.
Hey. Well, guys, today we're here to talk opportunity readiness with Stefon, and I'm just super juiced because I feel like we literally preach create your own opportunity, and you are the epitome of creating your own opportunity. You turned your 17-minute thesis into the feature film on Netflix, See You Yesterday, and I mean, you're like living proof that if you can believe it, you can achieve it. So, can you tell us a little bit about your process and just how that even came to be?
Well, can we 1 second. I want to wish our sponsor, Kenny, from Blue Lizard Bar and Grill, a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Kenny, out there. And we thank our sponsors, of course, Blue Lizard Bar and Grill and desserts.
Happy birthday.
Yes. First and foremost, support Black businesses.
Yes.
Local businesses, please, because this is a hard time for local and Black businesses. So if you guys are out there, support your local business -- entrepreneur.
Yes. And Kenny has a new deck that he's creating. You can see it on Instagram. He's not playing. He doesn't care about being shut down.
He don't care. He's doing his thing. Opportunity ready. He was ready.
Yep. Always ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
There you go.
Yeah. So we don't want to ignore our sponsors. So yes, happy birthday, Kenny. We love you. We thank you so much for your love and your support. Stefon, can you tell the people what your process was? And just, I mean, it was a 17-minute thesis and it blew up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You just asked me to explain 5 years in one question. It took me 5 years to make that film on Netflix. Right now, it was an extraneous journey. A lot of crying, a lot of hard work went into it. It was, it was not a small feat. I made a 17-minute film for my thesis film at NYU Graduate Film School, and I was trying to make a feature film first to graduate as my thesis, but my professors said I was delusional because I wasn't ready to be a feature film director yet, and I had to make another short film to really get my bearings in order. And there was failures with the short film. I had 2 producers who weren't great. I had to fire them in the midst of trying to get it off. I don't blame the whole process entirely on them, but because I had to blame myself for hiring them. I cried for a week. I asked my mother for rent, but she turned around and refinanced a home and gave me money for short film. I had to re-team everybody. I had to find a co-writer to help me with the script. And then we shoot the short film. And then, Spike Lee, my longtime mentor, came to me, said, "Hey, Steph, I want to be your producer. I know there's, some folks who was already attached to produce, but I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Think about it. I said, ain't no time to think about it, motherfucker. Let's go. And then we had the short film go out to about as many film festivals as possible around the world. End up being 35 film festivals, I think a little bit more. And the biggest film festival to help some of the big film festivals that helped us getting it's not Sundance, it's not Slam Dance, not Tribeca, not South by Southwest. It was American Black Film Festival. That was the one that really helped us out. And then you got Black Star Film Festival, and then you got Milwaukee Film Festival and Pan African Film Festival. These are the film festivals that really helped me out and get notoriety. And Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival, where I won the HBO Short Film Award. And during these festivals, we just tell people like, "Yo, we're making a feature off this film," and it did well. We got accolades, we got an audience. People were excited about it, and me and Frederica, we started writing the script again during this process. And then when we felt the writing was in a good place, Spike flew me out to LA, and I met, I've been in rooms I never imagined I'd be in, with some of the top Hollywood execs, you know what I'm saying, and I felt like I made it, but I was still broke. You know what I'm saying? I was in Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I also got my my agent as well. Black woman too, Andrea Nelson Meeks, legend in the business, and she was at ICM Partners, and it was crazy. You walk into that. I really felt like I was Hollywood. I walked into that place. It was on the top floor somewhere. You saw a beautiful view of LA, the valley and everything. And then they had a swimming pool, basketball court, an airstrip, everything. It was nuts, man. And they welcomed me. She welcomed me with open arms. And we met with Netflix, and meeting went well. And then we put a pause on the pitching. Because what's special about this journey is that Spike invited me and another young woman to be his personal assistants on Black Klansman. Black Klansman, the legendary film Black Klansman. I was his assistant, and mostly the other assistant, Lauren Owen. She did most of the hard work. I was just shadowing Spike. I was on, I was writing Spike's curtails to see, right behind him, trying to see how he was directing every day. And, I was observing how he was talking to the DP, Chase Irving. I was observing how he was directing John David Washington, Laura Harrier, and Adam Driver. It was like, I was very close, I was so close I could smell the farts. That's how close I was to the actors, because I want to know exactly what this man was saying to them. And that process was helpful because that helped me be prepared to direct my own feature film. That was the first time I was on a real Hollywood set. And if I didn't have that experience, I would have not been prepared to direct my feature. And after that, Spike let me know we got to deal with Netflix, and we shot. We continued to write the film, and I was broke. During all this time, these 5 years, I was extremely broke. And it was so bad that even Spike, God bless him, was able to give me a loan to live off of. It was bad, and there was a lot of crying and everything, man. I had a close circle of mine to talk to and whatnot, and I'm dragging it because I know there's more questions, but
it's okay. Speak your truth.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy that you're talking about the process and your financial process, because we've talked about this before, how nobody wants to talk about that in the business. They see the lights, they see the glamour, they see that you're on TV or you're working with X, Y, and Z. But I think it was Taraji P. Henson who said, like, nobody knows when you leave set and you're going home and you're eating top ramen. You know, there's this like false notion that
it's true.
And we talk about that too, bestie. Like people who have fame but no money, and it's very common in the entertainment industry. So I thank you for your transparency.
But you want to know what? Another thing is like I do like job after job after job, and I meet all kinds, like Andy Fickman, who's come on the show, he's my mentor, and he's helped me throughout my career, and I go from project to project to project, but the struggle is real. Okay. the struggle is real. And I'm a line producer, so I manage money, and it's still, the struggle is real, so I think there's this misconception that just because you're around all these people, but that somehow that translates to like some sort of financial gain. And I know all these celebrities, and they just like, they're working. Not to say that I'm like not somebody special, because I feel like I'm special, but we all are working together to get to a certain space. Let's just say that we all are working together to get to a certain space. And it's just really interesting because one of the things that we always talk about, or I talk to people about, is diversifying, right? So that when you're in this space as an entrepreneur artist, that you have something to go off of, because almost nearly 10 years in this, I know, Dark Quoia, you've been doing this since you've been like 5, but nearly 10 years in this, 10, 12 years in this game, man, it's no joke. The money situation is no joke. And, I do believe that, creativity is limitless. I say that to you all the time, but the reality is we are creative. We love what it is that we're doing, but life goes on, whether or not we make it or not. And that's the thing people don't see. Like, we still got life.
And run me my money. Like, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, run me my money. Like, my dad always says, all that glitter isn't gold. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to get caught up in smoke and mirrors. And what I heard you say, Stefon, earlier is I heard you talk about your support system with your mom, your support system with Spike Lee. And a lot of times you don't see the other moving parts that are holding up this entity. And you see it a lot with different celebrities, different entrepreneurs. There's something, and usually somebody or a group of people behind the scenes that are holding that person down. And it's just so interesting because I know Spike Lee is your mentor, but I mean, it seems like you guys really have a special relationship. Like, how did you meet? And then, and how did you like grow that relationship to where he wants to see you succeed and win? Because sometimes you can have a mentor, and I've had like mentors where they're like, okay, I'll tell you this and that, but I'm not going to really help you. I'll give you information, but I'm not really going to help you.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place in the United States of America, where it's a great place to learn how to be, and just to be a Black man. That's Morehouse College, baby. Morehouse College.
There you go.
The best HBCU. I would say, no, it's the second best HBCU in the country. The first best is Spelman College. Shout out to my
There we go. Shout out to Spelman. Shout out to Spelman.
And I was at Morehouse undergrad, and I woke up one morning because I was trying to be a filmmaker for such a long time. I was discouraged to do it. But I woke up one morning and said, fuck it, this is what I want to do for my life. And I just go around campus trying to figure it out, trying to change my major, and that didn't work out because the major ended in 1996 for filmmaking. And then, I just teamed up with a lot of students at Clark Atlanta University, and teamed up with some friends of mine at college that was into filmmaking. And, some noble names would be like, Tariq Jackson, God rest his soul, rising star, is a good friend of mine in Morehouse. Stephen Love, who's now is a huge producer in Hollywood right now. And during this time, I was just making films, and a professor, you know, Mr. Ron Thomas, he said, you know, Stefon, you know, Spike is gonna do a screening at King's Chapel of Kobe doing work. You should go there and meet Spike. I was like, okay, cool. And I went there and saw the film, and Spike Lee. I was like, oh my God, Spike Lee. Ooh. And I went up to him after the screening and said, Spike, man, I would love to have an internship with you at 40 Acres, because I live in New York. At the time, I lived in Long Island. And he said, all right, you know, here's my email. Send me your resume. Send it, and I haven't heard anything from him. Next semester, that was a fall semester. Spring or fall. Well, it was one of the semesters. The next semester, I went over to Clark Atlanta University, where he was showing a short film, Jesus Children of America. And I rushed up to Spike afterwards and said, Spike, remember me? Nah. Okay. Do you mind if I have an internship at 40 Acres? Here's my email. Send me your resume. Haven't heard shit. Next semester, me and my Morehouse brothers was trying to start a film program at Morehouse College at the time, led by Stephen Love. We call him Dr. Love. And we met with the dean, Dean Mills, and Spike came in. And we was all trying to pitch to him to help us with the program. And there he saw one of my short films that I did at Morehouse through Campus Movie Fest, and he saw that and he liked it and whatnot. And after the meeting, he gets up and he tried to rush out, and I rushed right behind. I was like, Spike, my third time asking for an internship. Hook a brother up. Third time, huh? I said, yes, sir, third time. Okay, here's my email. Send me your resume. I said, this motherfucker. I was so pissed. Oh God! But luckily a week later I got a email from his office saying I got an internship at 40 Acres for Mule for the summer, and I worked my ass off in that internship. I was on Long Island, lived on Long Island, and I had to go to Brooklyn 5 days a week with no money, and then on the weekends I had to work on a regular job to earn money. This is not paid. And I did that for the whole motherfucking summer. And 2 interns at that office was fired. I survived. This is 2010. This shit is 10 years ago. And Jesus, 10 years ago. Wow, crazy. Wow. And then I asked him for a letter of recommendation for NYU, and he gave it to me. He said, just write the letter, and I signed it. And I did that, signed it, and I worked my ass off on trying to get to NYU. Got to NYU. Grace of God. I got into NYU, USC, NYU, Singapore, and SCAD. I got all 4 colleges for graduate school, and I chose the best one, NYU. And when I was in my first year, I asked him, hey Spike, you know, I want you to be my mentor. He said, yeah, I got you. And the rest is history.
But you were very persistent. Like, I mean, I think sometimes some people, maybe they're a little bit apprehensive with being pushy, you know? A lot of people have talked to you about that, Tish, you know, like how to be persistent. We've even gotten the question.
Let me tell you something. White folks do that all the time, be pushy and be persistent. Why can't we? I just want to put that out there. And it helped them out like a motherfucker.
But you know what I want to say about that too, Stefon? It's very interesting because, like, in Hollywood, you have these perceptions that, like, you're going to be like Jennifer Lawrence, where someone just met you on the street, and they're just going to give you an opportunity, and they're just going to put you in their film and take a picture of you, and it's just going to happen. And it's such a false it's such a false narrative, but it's the way that I think it's the way that the industry it thrives off of this, off the dream, you know, not off of like people actually making money or creating films. It's like they take the dream and they put it in their hands and they just hold it, dangling in front of your face, like, this is Hollywood. You can make it one day. And then, but it's so hard. It is so hard. Like, people really, truly don't understand the amount of people that you have to get to know and get. And it's hard because they have gatekeepers for the gatekeepers for the gatekeepers, you know? So the reason why, like, it took Spike Lee probably 3 times is because he has a gatekeeper for the gatekeeper for the gatekeeper, probably at his company. It's like, it's him again. Okay. Whatever. You know, and it probably took him to say, you know what, did you guys see that resume from that kid, like, who emailed me? He said he emailed me 2-3 times. I don't know. I'm not getting it. Oh, yeah.
Also, even to see his tenacity, like, if somebody has reached out to you 3 times and literally will be at an event and be so vulnerable to say, hey, hook a brother up, it's just like, at least if I saw that, I would say, you know what, there's something about that person that is consistent and that won't give up. Do you know what I mean?
He's not gonna, I'm gonna tell you this, right? Like, as a person who like does like 1,000 auditions, like I go through 1,000 auditions or whatever, right? Sometimes when I even get emails, I'm like, okay, you know, like, it's not, sometimes it's not even like about like that person. It's just about like I'm busy with this, you know? So like, I won't even remember that I talked to you because I'm busy with this, right? So probably with him is he probably was doing a couple things, you know, and then finally he probably got a little less busy. And
he knew who I was.
He knew.
He knew who I was.
Cause you ain't somebody.
I know. He kept going at it, man. He kept going at it. But that's what it takes, because sometimes that's just all it takes. Persistence, man.
But he also said that he worked his behind off and he like showed him I am worthy, because I also feel like how do you get and keep an industry mentor, you know, like that's a thing within itself. He said that he fired like 2 different people, and Spike Lee is a perfectionist. Like, I don't know, like I mean, I see his work. You have to be a genius. You have to be a perfectionist to produce that level of work. And I mean, you said that you showed up every day and you showed out. I mean,
so along the lines of that, right? Showing up every day, showing out, doing this. What are some of the, let's say, technical, what are some of like the technical and personal skills that you learned from working with, you know, and point blank, what have you learned in the last 10 years? Let's even go there. Technical and personal skills.
I don't know how to answer that question. 10 years. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, have you learned to light a light? Have you learned to pick up a camera? Have you learned to...
because of film school, yeah. I mean, I learned my craft. I mean, talking about craft now. I learned, I kind of half agree with, you know, it's all about knowing who you know and whatnot. But you can know everybody and their mother in Hollywood, but if you don't have talent, motherfuckers ain't going to hire you. And that's one.
If you were on a set, right, and somebody was like, I can't put this light up, you think you could help them? Could you help them? Could you be like, you know, no? Okay.
No. I'm not. No.
No, you ain't.
I'm a director. I'm this.
Okay.
Somebody do that. Somebody else help them out.
But you could probably cut a page or 2.
I could probably do that.
Yeah, you. There you go. Like, that's a skill. That's hard. That's hard.
Tell me this, Stefon. You went through a lot of obstacles. I mean, we literally heard how you were broke, and you know, but you never gave up. Like, how did you stay in the mindset to keep going? Like, when you were sitting up there in your room with no money, broke, but you still had this dream that you were pursuing. How did you stay motivated?
Jesus. I'm telling you right straight up. I am a believer of the Lord. I have faith. Faith is the greatness of mustard seed. And I had a vision. I believe in myself. That's another hard thing, is believe in yourself. That's crazy. A lot of people underestimate that. Believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you can actually do it. Family members, friends, whatever, doubt that I can get this far. Doubt it. And those doubts were planting in your head. Those doubts was real. Those times where I am lonely, crying to my friends on phone, in bed with only couple of $100 in the bank account, sometimes less, sometimes it's overdrawn. I just believed that in the dream, man. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew exactly what I wanted to say with the film, and I believed in the film. I see the vision clear as motherfucking day. It was like it was burning clear, and I knew I can do it. The hardest part was convincing everybody else. That's the journey, and it was like I see the vision clear as day, and I know what I'm capable of doing. That anybody who denied me of it, I was insulted.
That's so interesting. That's really interesting that you're saying that, because I just kind of feel like it has to be like your tribe, because when you have the right tribe, man, you just thrive.
Yeah.
You just thrive. It's just the people who are for you, point blank. I mean, I see it all the time. It's just like you might have like even a great idea, man. And I see people, all these creative people, but it just takes, my husband always says, it only takes one person, just one. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, though.
Yeah. One person, you need, there's always going to be people. That's how it's hard to decipher people who don't believe you, but still want to work with you. It's easy to decipher people that don't, but still want to work with you, because they say, just in case, I want to say that I'm the one, I was there. You want to get rid of those people quickly. But if you find people that believes in you, hang on to them like a motherfucker. And it's crazy. I still have people that don't believe in me right now.
How do you decipher between those people? Because I think that's the thing. Like when it's one thing to not really have a body of work and whatnot, but you're in a position where you've created this body of work. You have these people that you're connected with. How do you sift through people to know if that individual who wants to work with you is for you, and if they're not?
By the fruits of their labor. Are they doing enough? Are they fighting for you?
And how about if they stick around? I mean, can we say that, like, when you're going through, and that's just a common thing. Like, I see it all the time out there, where it's all good and dandy when when everybody's talking about how great you are, but then when the buzz goes down, like, are you going to be around?
Yep.
Right. You're going to be around until are you going to wait for me to get the next thing? Are you going to be around? Are you going to, be in the space and also be in the same mindset to continue to thrive? I mean, that has to.
You can just tell by the energy. You know what I'm saying? But by the way, like, if there are going to be days that it just feel like the train is not moving, it's just going to be that just doesn't feel right. And they're there to, like, really uplift you. You know what I'm saying? But if they be condescending, if they don't really, do much, or they don't have that energy, the air about them, like they really have your back, they'll get rid of them quickly. Because you don't want people there that's lukewarm. You know what I'm saying? Spike wasn't lukewarm. Frederica wasn't lukewarm. You know what I'm saying? Folks at Netflix, thank God, wasn't lukewarm.
How did you meet Frederica, your writing partner, anyway?
Oh, I met her at NYU. After I fired my producers, I went to I needed to do more work on the script, and I just learned that I need a co-writer to help me, really get it tight. And I went to the dramatic. I wanted to make sure that whoever I partner with co-writing, they're not also directors. Because in the program, I was in the graduate film program. It's all directors, and if anybody want to collaborate with each other, we'll write with each other. And I don't want another motherfucking director to write with me. So I went to the dramatic writing department where they teach you playwright and screenwriting. And I asked the chair there, I said, please look at, this is my project I'm working on. Do you know anybody do you know anybody that was interested in this? And Fajika was on the list of folks, and she was the only Black woman on the list. So, and I, interviewed everybody, and she was the best writer on the list, and she was cool people. And I, now she's like a sister to me. She's a very good dear friend, and I'm lucky because I needed a Black woman to do this picture.
There you go. So with that, transitioning to this question, so how do you stay with that? Because to me, that sounds like you jumped into like an opportunity. How do you stay opportunity ready? Because a little bit of what you're saying is kind of like you being opportunity ready, but how do you keep yourself being opportunity ready?
I try to think 10 steps ahead and trying to gather everything that I need as fast as possible. I knew that from my mistakes, I knew what I need before launch. So, okay, I just make a list. I need this, I need that, I need these people, and I schedule and work hard on it. And I make sacrifices, during that time. It would have been beneficial if I had a full-time job, but if I took a full-time job, I would have never been able to fully focus on my work. So I had to make sacrifices doing only part-time work, and just skim by whenever I can. It was that. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So is there like, is there a set type? I wouldn't even say that, like, process that you have. Do you have your own creative process when it comes to you like being ready as a director?
Watch movies for sure. Watch a lot of movies that pertains to the Pacific Project. Right, I'm gearing up to make another movie right now. I have to like really go back to learn how to direct actors. So I'm gonna start taking some classes or just getting friends of mine, doing on Zoom. That's the best thing we can do, and just learn how to direct. So for me to be ready is to really continue to practice my craft as much as possible. Very important. Very, very important.
So you're like
very, very important.
So do you deem yourself as like or would you consider yourself a constant student?
I have no idea because I'm constantly working and not getting paid. So I don't even know. The student phase is over. Oh God! I just like, I gotta brush my skills on this, and I guess, yeah, because I'm always learning about something every day. Dealing with Hollywood execs and everything. I'm learning something new every day.
How do you keep your ego out of it? Because we talked to John Cry, who used to be head of development for New Market Films.
Yeah,
and he said that in this business you just have to take your ego out of everything, because your ego will make you do things that you never thought that you would do. It will stop you from forming alliances that you really need. And he was like, you can't have an ego if you want to thrive in this business. How do you take your ego out of it?
I don't take my ego out of it. My ego is me, and if I had no ego, I wouldn't even have the tenacity to do what I need to do. And said, I don't give a fuck what that motherfucker says about my work. I know what's right, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm going to fight for it, and that comes through a little bit from my ego. It's more about managing your ego and being, when to use it and when not to use it.
But is that ego, or is that just like, because we talked about this a little bit, Bestie, where you're very like, you and I, we're both very particular about our work. You know, like even with our podcast, we're very particular about how we set things up. And that's kind of different from having an ego, because you have to have somewhat of a creative standard for yourself, right? Like that makes you stand out. And I think that's different, because I think I was talking to Daryl. Daryl was on the show Daryl Scott was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me about the writer of Lovecraft. And he said, you know, he was like, she's very particular about her show, but she's a fantastic person. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. She's very particular about her creativity. And I think there's a difference.
I think maybe that's been confused as ego sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's
especially if it's towards a Black woman on set.
How do you uniquely have your creative voice without sticking up for what it is that you believe in as a creator? I don't think that's ego.
Right.
That's ego. Like, you have to be able to define what makes you different, right? And when you're saying you don't care what everybody has to say about your work, that's different. Ego is I can tell you some egos. Can we get into I can go with that.
Well, sometimes, okay, so let's take it back. Because sometimes people can use the same words, but they don't mean the same thing. That happens with me and Tish in our friendship all the time. And yes, I'm just gonna say it, and we'll have to reel it back, because what I realize is that we're saying the same words, but we don't mean the same thing. So when I say, okay, well, break down your definition of this, and then she'll tell me, and then I'll break down my definition of that. What I realize is that we're saying the same thing, but we don't mean the same thing. And I think when I was asking you the question about ego, it's not necessarily like, not what you're talking about is being passionate about your work. You know what you want, and you're not willing to budge. What I'm talking about is, sometimes when you're doing a project, right? Maybe you didn't behave in a certain way, or maybe you have certain things that you're working on, like within your personality. Let's talk about that.
We're talking about the project that you and I did together, and there was mad egos on there.
Oh yes.
Okay. Then I say this.
Let me tell you, an actor was like, I had an actress tell me, everybody wants a piece of me on a project before. Do you have that type of ego? Everybody wants a piece of me? Let me know. Let me know right now.
No, that's not the question. Rewind this back. That's not the question. The question is that when you
do I get jaded? Is that the question? Do I get jaded?
No, that's not the question. Because no, that's not the question. Because we're asking questions to help our viewers when they may find themselves in these situations. So we're not asking that, because this is not get your tea. This is to help people live their best lives so they can live their dreams and be their personal best selves. So what I'm saying is that we all have an ego, right? What I mean by ego is we have things that we're passionate about, but we have things that we're also working on, right? And sometimes you have to take out what you want sometimes for the greater good of the project, perhaps.
Choose the battles, right?
Or maybe you feel like you should be unapologetic. These are just examples. Maybe you feel like you should be unapologetic about what you want, but that won't necessarily help you to get to the next level or the next space. When you find yourselves in that moment where you're battling your ego, because other people watching the show may battle that part of their ego, what do you do to like keep yourself in check? It's no different than when you get in an argument with somebody and you're like, you know what, I'm strong in my convictions, but I see where I see their point.
That's it was trial and error. Everything I come to right now is trial and error. And I was blessed enough to have people in my life to tell me stuff. You have to put yourself in the other shoes and listen to other people's ideas and whatnot. And you know, this is a team effort. Filmmaking is a team effort. You can't do this on your own. There's no way I could ever done this without Frederica. There's no way, obviously, without Spike. But I'll even go further. There's no way I can ever done this without my cinematographer, Felipe Verderay. There's no way I could have done this without my boom operator, my what have you. It's a team effort, and there's people who are giving ideas and everything, or helping you to see things that you cannot see because you're just so you're so right here, and you're supposed to be as a director or an actor or a producer. So it's just remembering that, like I said earlier, Tish, is we're all in this together. This is hard work, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not Beyonce. Your shit stinks.
I'm sure hers does too.
No, I'm sorry,
No,
but
I'm sorry. Beyonce poop glitter.
No.
So Stefon, basically you were saying is that you don't have moments where you say everybody wants a piece of me. That's basically what he's saying, guys. Just to put it in context, he's not he's not stomping around the set, being like, "You can't talk to me. You got to give me yellow M&Ms, in my tray, and only yellow M&Ms." He's not doing none of that. That's what he's saying, y'all. So
maybe I've done something that shows me a little ego, and somebody's watching this. That stuff on is bullshit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Have I been acting Hollywood sometimes? Hell yeah. Sometimes I felt like I'm the shit, because like my first feature film is with Netflix. They paid me X million dollars to do it. You goddamn right. I felt like I was Hollywood, sitting on that goddamn chair talking about I'm the director in Hollywood. Now look at me. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly wish I never did that. And I put more focus into the work. I wish now look at me. I wish I never did that. So you know how Usain Bolt was break a world record. Like imagine how better he could have been if he didn't celebrate it towards the tail end.
You know what? So this is actually a good question. So if someone else is in your position, another filmmaker out there who's in your position, and Netflix comes to them and they want to get a Netflix deal, what advice would you give that filmmaker who's looking to talk to Netflix?
Just keep in mind that Netflix might not be for you, because because what you're trying to do, there are different companies have different agendas, and sometimes when those companies only meet one executive, and that executive have their own agenda, or they have their own vision of the thing, and it just doesn't match with you. And mind you, it's not the company. It's not like, oh, I met with someone at Netflix and Netflix is bullshit. It's not Netflix. It's just that executive. Because you could have been a different executive and the outcome could have been different. So just keep in mind that Netflix is not the crown jewel. I don't get me wrong. I'm not talking bad about Netflix at all. I had an amazing experience, and I'm working. And I'm about to sign a deal with them for another film. And we just had a good relationship with them. But then there's others that haven't, and I don't blame them for it. It just wasn't it. Because Netflix is hot doesn't mean it's the best for your project.
Yeah.
For example, Bad Hair. It's on Hulu. It feels good for that.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to see that. Michaela, I'm not butchering her name. Michaela Cole went to Netflix with I May Destroy You. For some reason, the deal wasn't the best for her, so she went to HBO.
It's shopping. It's shopping. It's finding the best platform for your project. But go ahead, Bestie.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm more so wondering is what are some of the tactics, and so what are some of the things that people can actually do when they come to the table and they have
have a pitch ready. Have your pitch ready. Make sure you and your team. Once again, you cannot do this on your own. Make sure if you're a director, have a producer, make sure you have a good director and whatnot, and practice that pitch to the T. If you have a visual aid, obviously you need a lookbook, obviously. You go there and you practice your pitch often as much as you can. You go there and you let it rip. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the first meeting is not a pitch meeting; it's a general meeting to feel you out. Let's remind us, a general meeting in Hollywood. A general meeting is usually just you meet an executive or a producer or a financier, and they're just trying to see who you are as a person, because sometimes they will have an opportunity for you more than they want you to give them something. So just be aware of that. And then
that's good. Yeah.
And then when you're ready to pitch, and then they invite you back, and okay, what's the pitch? And then
Yeah. I'm gonna
preparing. And it's such a, for me, I pitched two projects this year that weren't my scripts, but I had to pitch my vision to it. And each of those projects, it took me 2 weeks to prepare for the pitch.
It's really interesting, and I'm glad you said that. Sometimes people like you, and maybe sometimes it's not the project, because that happens where people will say, you want to know what? I really think you're what I'm looking for and not the project. And I think artists, filmmakers out there, it's nothing wrong with you, like, doing something for yourself and for your own career, and still doing something for your film. So I just want to put that out there to our artists / filmmakers out there. Oh, can you guys hear me?
It's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, you got that Teddy Riley connection.
That technical difficulty.
You need to turn around and to your people and say, "Yo, y'all need to pay attention."
I am the people, so who am I talking to? Myself?
Well, you need to start paying attention next time.
I'm not. I was gonna say, when you talked about people sometimes just wanting to work with you, what's the book I read? And How to Win Friends and Influence People. It talks about that you will make more. A lot of times people will make more money because of their personality and because they're likable, and you can call it energy. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be an extrovert or an introvert, but it's who you are, that and your ability to be able to work well with people will make you more money than just your talent or your skill alone. Now, if you put the two together, then you set. But I think that people highly underestimate that you have sometimes, like you said, it's just not for you. And it's not that Netflix or Hulu isn't great, or this writer or that writer isn't wonderful, but they don't click with you. And I think it's really valuable for our listeners to just hear that, because I think, especially like when we got out of grad school, we just wanted to work with everybody and anybody. And now that like we're in our 30s, we're gonna put it out there because like fine wine, unapologetically 30. I just don't even care anymore. It's like, if it's not a match, it's not a match. If it's not for me, it's just not for me. But I wish I had that in my 20s. I think that I would have. Sometimes when you have all of your little sensors all the way out here, you really can't be intentional and just land. I think Tish, we missed you. We missed Tish is frozen, but you really just can't land. And
Teddy Riley there?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, not Teddy Riley.
I'm about to pull out my guitar and start playing something.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
I'm not. Yes. Well, now you're broken up again, bestie. So this is okay. There you go.
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's black. Clearly, you're black. You're a black woman.
I can't.
Thank you.
Black.
Thank you. Hopefully you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now?
I know, right?
Or was
it T-Mobile?
Or was it T-Mobile? Can you hear me?
No, it was Verizon. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you in good hands? Can you hear me now?
Oh my gosh.
Not dealing with that. But I just wanted to circle back because we're, reminiscing over, just advice to young filmmakers and young artists and entrepreneurs out there. You talked about how you would have handled things differently because you were in a position where you got a lot of success very quickly, very soon, and you were very young too. You are young. I'm not saying that you are young, but you were very young. I think that when we talk about a lot of times when we hear opportunity ready, we think, oh, like how can I have, like you said, my pitch deck together and like, you know, like for a actress art, you know, resume and reel and all of those things. And that's the tangible part. But what advice can you give people now that you have been in that position, being opportunity ready mentally for opportunity as it comes? Because I think that people highly underestimate that.
I'm a work in progress, man. I don't know how to answer that question. I don't, you know, I just know that my skill set's ready. I believe in myself. I trained hard for it for X amount of years, and it's my dream. And I just went, because I feel like I'm ready or not, I just had to do it. I wouldn't, because there's so many people out there that are underqualified for a job and then they get the job.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Barbara was talking about that with women, like how women, you know, they won't apply for a job if they don't have all of the qualifications, but men, they'll have 3 and apply.
Exactly.
I got it.
Exactly. I just say when you know you're ready, it's just like you just when you really work and have all your ducks in a row and whatnot, and don't try to get it's got to be get to a point where it's professional. It doesn't have to, you know, perfect as much as possible, but don't try to be all too perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is perfect, now I'm ready. No, it's, you know, it's because after you're in the room and you give them your script, whatnot, and you give them the pitch, that once they hire you, there's gonna still be more work to do on the script. There's still be more work to do on the ideas and the development. I'm going through that again right now, and I know. So it's, you know, it's don't try to be all too perfect.
So perfection doesn't exist.
That's not, because not all the way to the motherfucking post production. You can still be rewriting. I had to rewrite. You know how many times I rewrite? See, yesterday during production, took me all day. Time.
Yeah, I mean it's and the thing about it is like you know, I hate the development process because it's a never-ending thing. Like the development process is always a never-ending thing. I love it when we have like deadlines. I hate it.
Your camera.
Oh, what's wrong with my camera?
Like we can hear
I can hear her. Finish your question.
Oh God, I don't know why you guys can't see me. Whatever. But it's a never-ending process. You know, you can change a script like a million times. Like I love when we can change a script and make a decision, because sometimes like you know, when you make a decision about the direction that this is going to go, yes, you can improve on dialogue. Yes, you can improve the character and their journey. But sometimes, man, I'm telling you, like I love the creative process. The development process, you'll be in it for like 2 years, 2-3 years, man. 2-3 years, you'll be developing the script. And I think the development process, what I've learned is I like developing television because you can always like improve. I hate developing film. I really do. Because you got to get to a point where you got to make the movie. You can't always you can't be in development for like 2 years for a movie, really. Then something happens like COVID and then you don't get it done. You know?
I had a similar experience with USA too. The executive was trying to go, and we had a shoot during the summer because the lead actors are in college. And we don't want, and I take college very seriously, and their parents do. It was a perfect place, and it was like, well, we want to do more of the script, and the script was fine. The script is never ending. It's just like when it comes to the point where you're being nitpicky on nonsense, you know what I'm saying, and not trust the director and not trust anybody. It's like, oh, let's go. You know, we had to really push them to like let's get the ball on. There's only so much we could do with the script.
Yeah.
And the thing is like the movie is going to be rewritten anyway in post production. There's no such thing as a perfect script.
And when you get on set, when you start working with actors, they're going to have their input on the character. They're going to do their character development. You might change a line or two or three, or the line you thought that was the shit. You thought their line was it, right? You thought it was, and then they came in and they changed it, and you're like, darn, that was better. I spent like 2 months coming up with that line.
It depends. It depends. It doesn't always work that way. It depends.
Okay, director.
That wasn't cute. But I said, you see how he switched his voice though, Bestie? It wasn't cute. He like got real like,
yeah, you know.
I am Trump. No,
he's like, hold up. He's like, hold up. Writer director here. You ain't changing my words.
He said his whole voice switched. It was like,
changing it for? There's nobody know better directing and writing than me. Nobody.
I know. Basically, that's what he's saying. He's saying actors, if you out there changing his word, he's charging you $30 per word, like they do on Broadway. $30 per word.
Right.
Change his words.
And just how people source, you know, if Netflix is the right film for you, or sorry, if Netflix is the right platform for you, you know, just know if you're going to work with him, you ain't going to be changing the script.
Point blank. Period. Point blank. You're not changing his script.
Yes. And then you can decide if it's the project for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stefon, so I think you talked about it a little bit earlier, but what are you currently working on right now? What's next for you?
I am attached to a sci-fi thriller dystopian movie set place not too far in the future when the Earth no longer has oxygen. And we follow a mother and daughter who are scientists, and they have to protect their bunker from outside invaders who are trying to steal their oxygen machine.
Wow. You know, you do a lot of like futuristic type of writing. What films inspire you? I already know the answer, but I still want to ask it on camera.
You know the answer? Didn't say it. Let me hear it.
No, I want you to say it.
No, I want you to say it.
Listen.
No.
Okay, for everybody on here, one of Stefon's favorite movies is Back to the Future and Jurassic Park, which inspires a lot of his work because See You Yesterday was all about time travel. This is about time travel. So you're clearly very passionate and obsessed with time travel.
I'm not obsessed with time travel.
Oh.
I would. It's funny. Well, I appreciate time travel movies, but I would never go back in time, personally. Because number one, there's nowhere in history that Black people enjoy themselves in the past. And two, I don't want to go back in time and try to change anything, because what we go through now is because things are getting better, or things just getting, you know, we need where I'm at now is for the love of God. It's because of mistakes I made in the past. But Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, not the only ones that are my favorite movies. I love Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing is my favorite movie of all time. That's the movie that told me, that formed me what I want to do in my life. Malcolm X, amazing movie as well. And some of the more recent movies that I love are Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah. And have you ever seen little kids watch that movie? Like, it's one thing to watch it as an adult, but I love that movie because of just the diversity and just in Brooklyn. Like, I don't know if people really understand that, like, diversity really starts with kids. Like that's really how you change the next generation, and you change the narrative. You got all these adults that's over here trying to change these individuals that are already fully formed. But I work with kids, and I've seen how, like, just seeing a cartoon movie like that. It's not a big deal that all your friends are Black, or you're in Brooklyn and you doing X, Y, and Z, or you like this type of music. It's part of their culture. It's not even a big deal. It's not like they're looking at it and gawking at it. I love that movie. Sorry.
I love it. I love that too.
It's so interesting because the visuals, I love really cool. It's kind of like my thing. I'm into like comic books and really cool visuals. And I love horror comic books, which is kind of like, everybody likes the superhero comic books, but there's a company out in New York. They make these horror they're the Gentiles. I call them the Gentiles. They make these horror comic books that have like the visuals very similar to what you see in into the Spider-Verse. And so it kind of reminded me of that. It has like a really authentic comic book feel to it. I'm waiting for that comic book horror to come out, whatever that may be, the big comic book horror. That might be something I do. I don't know. I'm putting it out there, guys. Maybe. But I'm into the comic book horrors. I had to put that out there. The visuals. So we are getting very close to the end of our podcast. So I want to. Oh, this is the question, Bessie. You ask it all the time, so I'm not even going.
Yes. Okay. So we've been asking everybody, what is your mantra for getting? Bless you. Bessie's not feeling well today, guys, but she's still on here like the GOAT. Professional doing her thing. You would have never even knew that she was under the weather. So hand clap for her. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Best friend, boss. Anyway, so Stefon, what is your mantra for getting your mindset right and staying motivated? It's kind of like your life anthem. It could be like a song. Like. For my sister, she always sings, which is kind of sad, but ooh, child, things are gonna get. Or like, I just had to get it how I live. Hey, I was a dead. Like, what? It's something, or it could be a song. It could be just something you say, a mantra. Like, what's your life anthem for staying motivated?
Jesus is the reason for the season.
There you go.
He is the reason for the season. He is the light that shines. No, okay, I was in a play and we had a whole song about it.
But no, I would say this to everybody, because I know I'm a Christian. Everybody is a Christian. Some are Muslims, Jewish. So I would say this: that just even if you're atheist, I'll say this: there's a higher power out there. Tap into it. There's a higher power.
There you go.
Amen.
That's just me. I'm not trying to push a religious agenda, because we all believe in different things. But at the end of the day, all these different things point to one source.
Come on. Amen. Yes, Lord.
Amen.
Lord, and praise the Lord that we have a new president. Amen. Because last week we didn't know what was going down. We was with Barna Abel. You can check that episode out. Legendary casting director. But now we have something to rejoice and be glad in, because God is good and mighty.
I'm ready for a change.
That's right.
His president. So
Trump will still be president the next 4 years. Let me stop. I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking.
I can't deal with it.
That's not funny.
Everyone, I also want to add something. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Stefon.
I'm just saying that I'm glad a clown is at the office, but go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, we are. We all should be glad, but half of the country is not. So therefore, we all aren't. So I'm just going to
stop the count. Stop the fraud.
Oh my God.
I know.
Okay, so also, guys, I want to put out there on November 23rd, you can join me live on Instagram at 8 p.m. for my new book, The Artistpreneur. It's a book launch, so follow me at Get It Girl Tish. On Instagram, November 23rd. I will be talking to you guys about what we're talking about here is being opportunity ready, creating your own opportunities, going for it, getting it done. Things that, guys, if you've been watching this show, you should already know, but I'm going to give you some tangible resources and tools in writing in this book that you can use to get to the next step, to get unstuck. Okay, so to define yourself, so you got somewhere to go, and you ain't just sitting there being like, my life sucks because I'm an artist. No, we ain't having that. We ain't having that. Or my life sucks because I'm an entrepreneur. We ain't having that because there's things that you can do. So we're gonna talk about that at my launch party, November 23rd at 8 p.m. It's gonna be on Instagram Live. So
yes, and you can follow Stefon at Stefon Bristol on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the above. Also, tune in next week as we talk to celebrity hairstylist Jennifer McDougall and QVC host, media host. She's pretty spectacular. So tune in next week as we talk to Jennifer about how to be on camera ready, and especially during this virtual era. So yeah. And thank you so much for coming on the show, Stefon. We're just, I know that all the advice that you gave people, that it will really be instrumental. So thank you so much.
Can we give him a clap, Dusty? Can we give him a clap?
Didn't want to encore. Hey. Okay, we're not going to work on here, but
all right, we ain't gonna go there.
They're not ready. We'll
gotta keep it PG for the audience, bestie. Gotta keep it PG.
Today,
we gotta keep it PG. We're trying for the sponsors.
Oh, that's
hold on. Never mind.
How you keeping motherfucking PG over here?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I'm super PG. People come on here and they let loose. They don't care. They're just themselves.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that we can't. We are going to compose we're going to Michelle Obama it.
Michelle Obama gets clatched. Is she like she so like I don't see Michelle and Barack be like this. So please.
Okay. Well, we're gonna keep
it out there.
We're gonna keep it. Yeah, we ain't there yet. All right,
guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, again.
Thank you, ladies. Be
Thank
safe.
you, guys. We'll see you next week, guys.
Wear a mask.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, wear a mask. Wear a mask. Oh, Stefon, stay on after so we can talk, and thank you.
Right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. Get back.
You guys see me? Am I still on? Are we still on?
We're still here.